Okay, so we know that green building involve the use of environmentally sustainable material, energy efficient technology, and ecologically sound construction, a practice to create a building that have minimal environmental impact. So different parameters are considered in the construction of a green building. There are important parameters that we are going to look in this chapter. The first one is waste reduction. Secondly is no or minimal toxic byproduct, pollution, and environmental degradation. And the third one is energy, water, and other resource efficiency in terms of utilization. And then number 4 is a dust collection system. And finally, we will take a look at space efficiency. Yeah. So in this lecture, we will be talking about the importance of some eco-friendly production parameters. I think in the last few chapters, we have talked about how do we define a sustainable green building. And today, we are going to talk about the importance of some of the eco-friendly production parameters. Yeah, as we know, green building help the environment. They save energy and water, and they use good building materials. In Asia and Malaysia especially, we need more green building because of the growing cities and population in Malaysia. Yeah, we know that Asia has a booming urban population, and the Malaysia urbanization rate is over 75%. Yeah, so what does sustainable green building, how can sustainable green building contribute to us, contribute to the environment? So, sustainable green building can help the environment. It can prioritize environmental conservation by energy efficiency, water conservation, and also by the use of a sustainable building material. Yeah. So, eco-friendly production parameters, it is very important because it is critical to mitigate environmental impact, and it is also essential to cater a growing infrastructure demand. So, in Malaysia, in terms of waste reduction, building waste is a big problem. Why? Because the construction sector in Malaysia, it contributes significantly to waste in landfill. Prefabrication, where the parts of a building are manufactured in a factory and are assembled on site, will help to reduce this waste production. Yeah. So by planning a better and using a good method like prefabrication, we can reduce these types of waste from construction, and this is better for the environment. For example, one of the project in Malaysia, we have a Penang, a world city, a project in Malaysia. They use a modular construction technique. So on-site sorting ensure that recyclable materials are recovered, and it will, as a result, will reduce the landfill waste. Alright, so now we move on to the next slide. We take a look at the second parameter, that is a non-toxic byproduct in the construction of a green building. Yeah. So some building materials can be harmful. In Malaysia, we are trying to use a more safer material that is not just better for the people, but also to the health, our health, and also to the environment. In terms of a certification to measure the non-toxic byproduct of a green building material, we have two types of parameter that we need to look onto. First one is we have indoor air quality, IAQ, and also we have a VOC standard in Asia. For example, we have materials like formaldehyde that are commonly used in building material. It will release a toxic emission. So, to counter this, the Malaysia Green Building Confederation, MGBC, has been advocating for materials that meet indoor air quality standard. And one of the example is the application of a low volatile organic compound paints that we can use in building. And this can ensure we have a more healthy indoor environment when we use a low VOC painting compared to conventional type painting. Yeah. So by using non-toxic building materials, there are few benefits. There are a lot of benefits actually that we can obtain from using a non-harmful building construction materials to build a green or sustainable building. The first one is in terms of health benefits. So by using non-hazardous materials, it will significantly improve the indoor air quality, reducing risk of respiratory issues, allergies, and other health problems for inhabitants. Secondly, in terms of environmental impact, non-hazardous materials are often biodegradable or recyclable, and this will lessening the long-term environmental footprint of the building. And this includes reducing soil and water pollution from hazardous waste. And the third one is by utilizing non-hazardous materials, it can help buildings to meet or exceed environmental standard regulation, and it will potentially resulting in tax benefits or grants, as well as lowering the cost that associated with the waste management and disposal. So site planning plays a crucial role in minimizing the environmental impact of a green building construction. So as we can see in the table here, this is how we can reduce the site disturbances and protecting a native landscape. By the first, we can propose a limit clearing by only clear land that's essential for building, keeping as much of the natural landscape as possible. Also, in terms of a work area, we can use barriers to define a small construction zone if we want to minimize the area of the impact. Also, if possible, we try to choose a machinery that is less damaging and restrict its movement to a specific path. Also, we can carefully schedule the construction activities to minimize the exposure and reduce erosion risk. And in terms of erosion control, we can use silt fences or straw barriers to prevent soil erosion if you want to protect the local waterways. And in terms of protecting a native landscape, we can do so by preserve trees and plants. We try to keep existing native trees and plants, and we try to incorporate them into the final design when possible. And also we have a native planting. We try to use a native plant to the area of landscaping, as they require less water and are more resilient. Also, in terms of wildlife protection, make sure we try not to disturb a local wildlife habitat during construction, and we try to protect any natural water features, for example, streams or ponds from construction and debris and pollution. Also, we try to restore any temporary disturbed areas by replanting them with a native vegetation. and we designed the drainage system that mimic a natural water flow for us to reduce the impact on the local water system. So minimizing pollution and environmental degradation is very important in the construction of a green building. So both during and construction process and also in the operational phase of the building, we can employ some strategies to reduce the negative environmental impact during the construction of the building. So what are steps that can be done during construction? The first one is in terms of waste management. We can reduce, reuse, and recycle construction material, and we try to properly dispose of waste that cannot be recycled. Secondly is in terms of a low emission vehicle and machinery. Try to use construction machinery that is electric or use a clean fuel to minimize emission. And we try to implement silt fences, straw bale, and other measures to control soil erosion and also to prevent water pollution. And we use water spray and other dust control measure to reduce air pollution. And we try to use eco-friendly material. We use materials that are recycled, renewable, or have a low level of toxicity to reduce the carbon footprint and to decrease pollution. After the construction, here are some steps that we can take to reduce the environmental impact after the construction of a building. The first one is in terms of energy efficiency. We try to incorporate renewable energy sources and energy efficient appliances for us to reduce the pollution related to energy production. Secondly, in terms of water efficiency, we try to employ water efficient fixture, rainwater harvesting, and grey water recycling to reduce water waste and associated energy used for water heating. And we use natural ventilation and air filtering plants to improve indoor air quality, reducing the need for mechanical ventilation, which can contribute to the pollution. We try to integrate a smart building management system so that we can automatically adjust the lighting, the heating, and we can cool the building to minimize energy use and associated pollution. And lastly, in terms of transportation, we try to design with the building with access to public transport, and we provide bike racks, electrical vehicle charging station, for example, to encourage green transportation option and reduce automobile pollution. Right, so now we move on to the next parameter, that is energy efficiency. So we know that energy efficiency is a critical component of a green building. Yeah, how can we achieve energy efficiency in the construction of a green building? Yeah, so we can achieve energy efficiency during the construction of a green building by using a solar panel. Yeah, we can install solar panel to harness the renewable energy, and as a result, it will reduce dependency on a fossil fuel. And secondly, we can use LED lighting. Yeah, we can use energy efficient LED lights that consume less electricity and have a longer lifespan compared to conventional lighting. And the third one is we try to use a high performance insulation. We utilize the high quality insulation materials to reduce the heating and cooling needs. And as a result, we can save energy by doing that. And number four is we can try to utilize or implement a smart building system. We integrate a smart thermostat and lighting system to automatically adjust the energy use according to the needs. And this, as a result, will improve the overall efficiency in the building. Yeah. And number 5 is we can achieve energy efficiency by using Energy Star appliances. Yeah, we know that Energy Star appliances, it will use less energy. We try to equip the building with Energy Star rated appliances that are designed to use less electricity and water. Okay, so we know that Malaysia promotes renewable energy in building through solar panel and wind turbine to reduce carbon emission. So we can see that there is a initiative in Malaysia for renewable energy in building, whether to use a solar panel, wind turbine, and so on. So one of the example of a green building in Malaysia is a diamond building in Putrajaya. It is a energy efficient building. It have a orientation that reduce solar heat gain, while in terms of its design, it maximize natural light. Additionally, Malaysia government has been giving incentive for solar panel installation in building, as this will lead to increase adoption rates of solar panel installation in a building in Malaysia.